Have you ever wished your mind could learn faster, remember more, and feel more alive with every new idea you encounter? As if your brain were a garden and you were planting seeds that could bloom with ease and joy. I want to share a story that might sound like magic, but it's rooted in something even more powerful. How we learn and how we can learn to love learning itself. That's the heart of this book, and it starts with a simple truth that might surprise you. Learning deeply isn't about working harder, it's about working with your mind's natural rhythms, its hidden superpowers, and letting them guide you gently toward your greatest growth. The book Super Learning was written by author name, a passionate explorer of human potential. Written during a time when distractions seemed to outnumber focus, when we felt like knowledge was everywhere, but learning was nowhere, this book was born of their own journey to rediscover how we learn best. And it matters now more than ever, because with so many screens, so much information, we need not just to survive the chaos, but to thrive within it. At its core, the book reminds us that we are not broken learners. Far from it. We all carry the ability to learn with ease, to absorb new skills, ideas, languages, or passions, if only we remember how to tap into that capacity. Once we do, learning doesn't feel like a chore, it feels alive. Here's the first lesson. Your brain loves patterns, especially when you link learning to emotion and meaning. Think about how a song instantly transports you back to a moment in your life. That's your memory, powered by emotion. The book invites us to treat every new idea like a melody. If we can connect it to something we care deeply about, our mind will hum it again and again. Imagine trying to learn a foreign phrase by linking it to the laughter of a friend or a promise you once made. Suddenly, it's not a list of strange sounds, but a portal to feeling. That's learning being kind to your heart as well as your mind. And so we glide into the next insight. Spaced repetition isn't about repetition for repetition's sake. It's about timing, like watering those seeds just when they need nourishment. The book tells the story of a sculptor who returns to her work at the exact moment when she's about to forget a detail, and suddenly that detail stays with her forever. Not because she drilled it, but because she honored the ebb and flow of forgetting. When learning is timed with your mind's natural curve of forgetting, what you learn becomes woven into your memory rather than pasted on. Then comes a beautiful transformation. Ever heard of the beginner's mind? It's the way a child looks at a new toy with fresh eyes, delight, even awe. The author encourages us to carry that curiosity into adulthood. When you learn something new, lean in like a child. Ask questions that might sound silly. Marvel at little things, how the curves of letters dance, how that concept could change your day. That openness isn't because we don't know enough. It's because when curiosity is alive, learning becomes an act of love, not obligation. And your mind, craving novelty, rewards you with clarity and joy. The fourth lesson is about multisensory learning, experience that engages more than just words. The book recounts a musician learning a new language by drawing the words, acting them out, walking the syllables on the floor. I invite you to imagine that. Your body speaking, your hands drawing, your voice laughing. When you involve your whole self, learning isn't a solo act, it's a dance. And you remember more because your whole being has joined. Each of these ideas flows into the next like a gentle stream. But the author also weaves in stories from their own life, a feeling stuck in graduate school, overwhelmed by theories and textbooks until they rediscovered learning as a living process. They began to learn music first, then used the same openness, emotion, rhythm, and movement to study difficult theories or languages. They tell us the joy of learning, once awakened, lights up everything. As we move through these lessons, you might sense a deeper invitation, not just to study harder, but to rediscover yourself as a learner who is alive, curious, creative. That's the next idea. learning is identity. The book shows us that when we experience ourselves as someone who learns with delight, we can grow into that identity. One learner describes waking up thinking, I am a reader, I am a thinker, and that shift changed everything. Even how they spoke, the confidence they carried, the risks they dared to take. This leads seamlessly into the final key lesson, learning as community. There's a moment when the author joins a small group to practice improvisational storytelling. At first, they feel shy. What if they mess up? But within the circle, supported by others, they find courage. In that space, learning becomes a shared adventure rather than a solo trek. When you tell your story and hear others tell theirs, everything you learn gains resonance, connection, depth. By now, you and I are mid-journey, feeling not just smarter, but more human. We've seen how emotion and meaning turn facts into songs. We've walked through timing, curiosity, multisensory engagement, identity, and community, and felt how each lesson lifts us. Which brings us to the close, and yet also to the beginning. Let's pause to breathe in the space of this journey. We've discovered that learning isn't a burden. It's not about memorizing for tests or ticking off boxes. It's about listening to the hum of possibility inside you. It's about planting seeds, emotional, curious, embodied, and tending them with mindful timing and loving attention. When learning becomes identity, you carry it not just as knowledge, but as who you are becoming. You feel alive. So what if you paused right now and asked, what is one thing I want to learn, not because I have to, but because there's something in me waiting to be awakened by it? Maybe it's a poem, a rhythm, a phrase of code, or the taste of a new recipe. Whatever it is, allow yourself that curiosity, that emotional tether, and take the next gentle step. If this journey has touched you, imagine what the full book holds: more stories, deeper practices, and invitations to light up your learning again. I hope this has stirred something, a flicker of wonder, a welcome to your own learning heart. If it did, it would mean I've done my job, sitting with you across from a friend, opening a book into a new world together. Thank you for spending these moments here with me. I'll leave you with this. Learning is not just how we grow, it's how we come home to ourselves. And that, my friend, is the most extraordinary journey of all.